Diddly quack quack. On this week's show, we've the weird and wonderful Milton Jones. All the way from the United States, we've Reginald D. Hunter. But starting off, we've John Colleary from...
Hello. Hello. Thanks very much. Thank you. Hello. How are you all doing, yeah? Good? Yeah. As you can see, I'm a culture. You can't tell yet. What's the fit? Huh? The mixture of embarrassment and amazement and fear. What? It's funny when they descend on Dublin for football matches. It's quite funny. It's like a movie, isn't it?
They came from all over Ireland. Some on buses, some on trains. But all of them were hungry. A story of innocence.
Look, Tom, a bus!
A story of hunger.
Get me 2 quarter-pounders and I'll make that half-pounders and put a slice of cheese on them. Good man, hurry up. What? Please, cheese. What do you talk about? Cheese, easy singles, throw it on. The throw-ins are 5 minutes.
If you look down from your bedroom window and you see a man in a straw hat pissing in your front garden, you can be guaranteed it's a culchie.
That's true. That's all they are. Culchie, mulchies. And that's what ruined Ireland, the Celtic Tiger, culchies. Built too many houses. Setting their alarm clocks for 1:30 in the morning. Beep, 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 beep. Must get up and build a house. I have to buy a big Jeep now to put outside the house. Drive around the town with my arm out the window. Huh? I build houses. Oh, jeez, 1 brown arm and 1 white arm. What the fuck, huh? I'll have to go to Spain and sort that out, because the steering wheel is on the left over in Spain. You can hang around with that one. Culchies. Everything in Ireland is about drink. Even the recession's about drink. If you break the word up, it's recession. It's about the drink. It is. And it's our leaders, really. People from the US will testify. They've got a great leader now, haven't they? You've got a great leader in the US. He's brilliant. Look at him. He's absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely everything you could ever want. In a global downturn, especially when money is scarce, he's so skinny. Look at him. He's so skinny. So thin. He's low maintenance. You know what I mean? He's a salad at worst. You know what I mean? He's not bacon and cabbage. Look at our guy. Look at him. His head's bigger than Barack Obama. Fairness. Doesn't even speak English, Brian Cowan. He speaks trumpet. Have you noticed this? Trumpet. Today in Dáil Éireann, Brian Cowan had this to say about the economy. Has been with me. Has been with that coming level forward. Hopefully, by the year 2012, every man, woman, and child in Ireland will be entitled to a free ham sandwich. That's what we've got. And Barack is so positive, isn't he? Yes, we can. Mm-hmm. Galway. Yes, we can. Mm-hmm. Dublin. Yes, we can. Limerick. I don't know. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Brian Cowan. I don't know. We might. I'm not 100% sure about that right now. Oh, Jesus Christ. We kind of need another election now, don't we? We need to get stuff changed. And the last time we had an election, there was pictures of Gerry Adams everywhere. Everywhere. Just all over the place. People thought the Bee Gees were reforming. American tourists in particular. Oh my God, it's the guy from the Bee Gees. Fantastic. Gerry does look like one of the Bee Gees, in fairness, doesn't he? He'd look well in spandex, given it all that, you know? You know, a little medal on 1916, written on spandex pants, you know. Aye, staying alive. It'd be good. It would work. And his posters were very to the point as well. It was Sinn Féin, we deliver. I was thinking, God, he's opened a fast food restaurant now. Really branching out. That's brilliant, isn't it? You know what I mean? Imagine ringing that one up. How you doing? Gerry speaking. Sinn Féin takeaway. How can I help you? You have any specials on, Gerry? I have indeed. I have chicken and black and tan sauce. That's quite a popular one indeed. Great. Anything else? Duck. What? Did you say... No, duck and orange sauce. That's quite popular as well. We cooked that one in bulk.
I'll just check it for you. Is that orange order ready? Is it? You ready? Is it ready? Not ready. Typical. Absolutely typical, not ready. Excellent. And you do deliver, it's on the sign, you deliver. We do deliver, but I cannot comment at this time how long that process is going to take. Doing my very best to move the whole situation forward. We're under no illusions the size of the task that faces us. We have to overcome obstacles like bollards and other traffic and traffic lights and what have you. We want to ensure transparency and accountability. About 15 minutes should do it.
Excellent, Jerry. That's brilliant. So you want my address?
No, I know where you live. You're all right.
Thanks a lot for listening. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
I've just come back from Australia. While I was there, I learnt some Aboriginal words like boo, which means to return, because when you throw an ordinary meringue, it's boomerang. I've just come back from Saudi Arabia. Got a friend who got caught shoplifting there, but fortunately he'd stolen a prosthetic hand. Unfortunately, it was a second offence. When I was in China, I saw the Great Wall of China. Well, actually, I closed my eyes. Boomerang. When I was in China, I saw the Great Wall of China. Well, actually, I closed my eyes. Because recently I'd read a book, 10 Things You Have to See Before You Die, and I'd seen the other 9. Just come back from Holland. I went into a restaurant there. The bloke on the table next to me began to cough, so I ignored him. Then he began to cough a bit more, so I still ignored him. Then he began to choke really, really badly. So in the end, I stood up and I smacked him on the back really hard. It turns out he was just speaking Dutch. That works with Gaelic as well. It's nice to be here. I went into a pub. No one would talk to me. The beer was flat and they just stopped serving food. Anyway, it turns out it was one of those English theme pubs. I did actually see a little green man. I walked towards him and he just disappeared and then I got run over. Another time I saw a magic tree that was hovering in the air. Didn't matter how fast I drove towards it. It always stayed exactly the same distance away. I ran out of petrol in the end. But I was so close, I could smell it. Do you ever have a conversation with someone and towards the end they say, well, I'll let you go? You think, yeah, thanks. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're trying to make me think that you think that I've got better things to do. But in reality, you're saying that you've got better things to do. Well, next time someone says to you, I'll let you go, say, no. Shut the door. If they make a sudden dive for the window, grab them by their ankles. As they're dangling 4 stories above the car park, screaming, "This has all been a terrible mistake," say, "Okay, I'll let you go." What else can I tell you about myself? I own a small zoo and a pirate ship, although not at the same time. Haven't got that much Lego. I mean, we think of pirates as being all smiley. Turns out they're actually all Somali. Recently, I've been attending meetings of Eavesdroppers Anonymous. Not that they know. My parents came up last weekend because I keep them in the cellar. That's not true. I don't know who they are. See, when I was young, I used to walk through the front door. I was hit by roast beef and lots of vegetables. Open the airing cupboard, spaghetti bolognese all over me. We literally didn't know where the next meal was coming from. I was in the park the other day watching an old man feed the birds, and after a while I thought to myself, I wonder how long he's been dead. That's not true. It was no woman. Words are powerful things. Sometimes a single letter H can attract helicopters. Has to be a big one. Hours I spent watching that hot tap. I would have watched the cold tap, but someone had copyrighted it. Recently, I've written a book called All the Things I've Ever Done in My Entire Life. And I don't want to spoil it, but in the end, I write a book. But I would like to see a world without plagiarism. You may say I'm a dreamer. But I'm not the only one. You see, my friends, if I had a crystal ball, I'd sit down very carefully. Tricky, isn't it, when you go to buy a toaster, and at the end the shop assistant says, "Well, what about insurance?" And you don't want to, but you end up taking a hostage. Tricky, isn't it? If you're both a moth and a sea captain. In charge of a ship, but up ahead, you see a lighthouse. You know you shouldn't. But you want to. Tricky, isn't it? If you're in a mosque and everyone's praying and you really enjoy leapfrog.
Join us after the break when we'll hear Reginald D. Hunter say,
I thought Tiger Woods was mistreated.
every time you are near. Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, Ireland, what's going on, man? Hey, yeah, I love coming over to this place here, man. And when I'm done here in Ireland, I got to go back to Georgia. When I get to Georgia, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to ask me about you. The first thing they're going to do is, a lot of white people. Oh, man, this is where they make white people, man. It's like white people's Africa. I was in America recently, and I have a bit of American guilt. I wasn't there when September 11th happened, and I feel like I should have been there. I don't know what I would have done, but I should have been there, Maybe like 10 less people would have died if I was there or something like that, I don't know. I wasn't there when Hurricane Katrina happened in New Orleans, and I remember I was sitting in London watching the coverage of Hurricane Katrina. And I'm looking at the coverage, I'm looking at Americans like me in the streets, robbing, looting, just to survive. Well, I'm American, I'm civilized, I've read a book, been to a couple of plays, But the reality is I'm probably just one big thunderstorm away from sucking cock for potatoes. I'm not happy about this. I'm not gay, so my cock-sucking skills ain't nothing to brag about. I don't really like potatoes all that much either, so. Yeah, man, I love it over here, man. When I say, I love it over here, I really, really love it. Because Irish people, y'all a lot like black people. Well, in a way, you white people, but with none of the entitlement. It's an incredible thing, man. My Irish friends, they'd be like, hey, Reg, I don't know if we can get into this club. And I'd be like, but you white. How could you possibly feel like that? See, black people don't do entitlement very well. Because when black people try to act entitled, it just looks mean and shitty. Yeah. That's why Naomi Campbell keeps getting in trouble. And when I say, because generally, white people do entitlement very well, except for Irish people. When I say entitlement, nobody quite wants to speak to your manager the way a white person do. Nobody quite writes a letter to the editor quite the way a white person can. Nobody can talk shit to a cop quite the way a white person can. Just, nobody can hijack a third world economy quite the way a white person can. And I'm not being racist. Black people, we can hijack third world economies, but we tend to have to live where the economy is that we hijacking. White people can do it from other countries. I'm calling from Sweden. Fuck up Nigeria. And, my friends, they always ask me, is there a lot of white people? And yeah, I meet a lot of white people. And most of the white people I've met since I've been in this part of the world have been fantastic. World class. Ireland in particular. You do white people very well. But I do meet a certain type of white person. They nice, but they nervy. Just socially nervous. Constantly afraid they're doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing or not properly observing your customs. But there's a particular white person, they have a secret fear that they might be racist, but they don't know it. They're constantly afraid that they're being racist, but there's no evidence that they are. But just, was that racist? Did I say something racist? I was at a party one night, and this guy walks up, and we just talking, laughing, joking, drinking. Suddenly he says, may I ask you something? I say, anything. He goes, I'm not trying to be out of order. I said, just say it, man. I think I might have been racist recently, but I'm not sure. I said, okay, this again. Go ahead. He says, I was in a cinema last Tuesday, and I bumped into a black guy. And I said, sorry, didn't see you. Now... you tell me if that was racist. Oh, no, man. Fuck, was there hatred in your heart when you said it? I mean... And I'm not having to go. If you are one of these such white people who are socially nervy and worried about being racist, just good on you that you care enough about your own behavior to check yourself, but don't overdo it. Because if you overdo it, you just make yourself socially neurotic. And plus, if you're worried about being racist when there's no evidence that you have been, then you also make yourself vulnerable and susceptible to con men. Con men like Nelson Mandela. So, Nelson Mandela makes most of his money now by traveling around the world blessing white people for a fee. Just a little bit of a joke that's based in truth. Man, but see, it's hard to hear something like that because, you know, there's some things that you accept as truth or real, and it sounds like, oh my God, how you attacking that or whatever? Like, there's some things like we accept as basic truth, like men are naturally violent. No, they ain't. A man that has the ability to eat every day and see that the people he loves can eat and have some sense of self-respect for what he do every day, he has a tendency not to need to knock another motherfucker in the head. Thank you. Women are crazy. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. Not mentally. And that emotional stuff happens after they get to this planet. I was at a party one night, a housewarming party. 'Cause I care about houses. And I was at a housewarming party one night, and there was these two girls sitting on the end of the couch talking. And one girl was on the phone, and I heard her say, no, I'm busy that day. No, I'm busy that day too. Yeah, maybe later in the week. I'll call you. I'll call you. Bye. And she hang up, and both girls start giggling. And then the girl who had been on the phone, I heard her say, men love a bit of a challenge. Now, let me just say, I am no stranger to bullshit. I hear bullshit every day, all day sometimes. I'm 41. I got an agent, I watch the news, I've been in relationships, I'm used to bullshit. But sometimes you hear a piece of bullshit that is so fantastic, you cannot be a dirty cop and look the other way. I had to make an arrest. I was like, excuse me, ma'am, did I just hear you say that men love a bit of a challenge? She's like, yep, that's exactly what I said. I said, really? I said, could you tell me where you got that piece of information from? Did you get that piece of information from a man? Or did you get that from maybe other women or your dad? And and she says, well, it's just common knowledge. Everyone knows that. I said, really? I said, that's interesting because I've been around men my whole life. I know about men. I'm a man. In fact, my dad, he's a man. My male friends, they men. Some of my female friends, they men. And in all my time being around men, I ain't never heard no man go, hey, Tom, you know that thing I love more than anything in the world? Yeah, pussy. I just wish it was harder to get.
And the atmosphere can only be described as the atmosphere akin to that of a waiting room. In a rape crisis centre, if there was one in the Lord of the Rings.
I just hate the me that dreams. She's an idiot. How could it be my boyfriend and my mum at the same time?
Guy comes up to me and goes, "Here, I've got 2 tickets to your show tonight, right? You better be fucking funny, right?" Just Irish misery everywhere.